Hey everybody, it's Lavender Town, and today I want to talk about the 4 biggest things that artists can get away with that nobody else can. So it seems like sometimes artists get a special pass to be a little bit weirder and a little bit stranger than the rest of us, and I actually thought of quite a few things that fell under this category, so I thought I'd make a video about it. The first one is having paint and mysterious substances all over your hands and your clothes. It's the kind of thing where if you see someone who looks profoundly dirty, you probably wonder if they've fallen down a mine shaft or something. What's going on? Are they 4 years old? Is that jam on their face? But usually if you just say that you're an artist and you've been painting, you can get away with anything. This would be really useful if you're perhaps a serial killer in your free time and you've got a lot of blood on you. You could just say that you're working with a monochromatic, warm color scheme and that you appreciate a lot less questions about your art practice. It'll work every time. The next one I want to talk about is staring. If you are caught staring at someone for whatever reason, maybe you're zoned out and tired, maybe it's your secret crush and you can't stop staring at their beautiful, beautiful face, all you have to do to avoid an awkward social situation when they catch you staring is take out your sketchbook and pretend that you were just drawing them all along. Or if that would seem awkward, you could pretend you were drawing something right behind them. Now, this may force you to end up drawing a really boring still life that you'd never want to draw, so use this tip with caution. Alternatively, if you want to seem like you're paying attention in class but you're actually not, you can also use this staring trick in another way, where instead of listening to your teacher or whatever, you can just stare at them and then draw them. No matter how bored you are with the actual lecture, trying to accurately draw somebody's face requires a level of concentration that will definitely come across as diligent studiousness. And if you get caught somehow, you can get out of trouble by showing them the extremely flattering portrait you've just drawn of them. Who would give attention to someone who's made them a beautiful portrait? Oh, also, this was originally going to be the first point, as I've numbered it, but then I wanted to move them around, so yeah, just ignore that. Now, if I were to describe to you a type of person who has a million of the same type of object, what would you call them? A hoarder, perhaps? Maybe a doomsday prepper, if it's bottled water or something of the type? But no, I am talking about artists. We all have our one thing that we can't stop purchasing and we can't stop putting in our bag. For me, it's Micron pens. I don't even draw that much outside of the computer, but I can't help myself. I feel like every artist has at least one art supply that they can't stop buying the same version of over and over because you don't want it to ever run out and you always want to have it on hand, and it's just a huge problem. The other issue I'm always having is I always forget to throw away the ones that are actually out of ink, so I have, say, maybe 100 different microns that are 0.3, and I never know which ones are completely dried out and which ones are fresh, so I'm stuck with all these pen corpses filling up my bag because I can never be bothered to actually take out a piece of paper and test which ones are streaky and almost dead, which ones are brand new, which ones are totally dry. So there's just a huge jumble of them, and I just never know which ones are going to work. It's a real issue. Let me know what your art supply is that you're addicted to, because I swear this is a phenomenon. This is a real thing. I feel like every artist has their one thing. There's also the dark side of this, which is sometimes you're made to buy an art supply that you don't want to buy, but you end up having a million of them on hand because of school or something. And for me, that is Prismacolor black and gray markers. From my school days, I have probably 50 of these, and I completely despise them because the cap is razor sharp, and every time I try to take it off, I slice my palm open, and it just drives me crazy. Why would you booby trap a pen? Alright, I know this is the one you guys were all waiting for. This is the one thing that artists can get away with and absolutely no one else can, and that is looking at naked people in a way that's not weird and perverted. Now, in our society, typically if you are seen looking at someone who's naked, everyone will assume that you're just being a big pervert, but when you're an artist, this is something that you have to do. You have to learn to draw the human form if you want to be good at anatomy. It's really the only way that you can learn it, and it's one of the only things that are really classical art education that I 100% am behind, because I do feel like this is the thing that made the biggest difference in my art in general. I draw really cartoony now, so it might be hard to tell, but I actually am capable of drawing with really good anatomy if I want to, because of all the life drawing classes I took. And I think artists are really lucky that they get to appreciate the human body in a way that's not super sensual, because I think that humans are really beautiful, and that you don't really notice that if you're all, your mind is full of like worrying about society and worrying about like the implications, and if you just get to look at people for their actual form. It's one of those social taboos that like you can never really get over until you face it directly, and I think that only artists really get to do that on the regular. I hope you guys liked this video. It was a bit more silly and jokey than my videos usually are. I was just in that kind of mood, what can I say? Let me know if any of these apply to you. They all apply to me, obviously. Especially the one about being really messy. Like, literally any time that I work with non-digital media, I have like ink under my fingernails for the next like 27 days. So it's really bad. Thanks so much for staying till the end, and I will see you guys next Friday. Big thank you to my patrons, including Scott Peterson, Christy Stewart, Payne Hamill, The Artsy Moose, Elizabeth Albin, Cal Popone, Cameo Sparkle, Hanuki, Zixith, Ollie, Neko-sama, Hope Chilsum, Abriana, Trasso Maniac, Micah Dactyl Okamore, Matthew Kunke, Blep, Sergeant Pendulum, Lena Christine, Baba Green, Taka, Lovely, Mystic, Enzo Jobert, Your Boy ST, JJ Jade, Lib Lib Lib, and Addy Visual.